Yo, so bit of a different one today. I'm opening a PS3 controller that I bought to just clean it up, spruce it up, make sure everything's nice. Because if you've seen my recent ones, I got a PS3, have one controller, so I bought another one so my partner can use it, so she can play the old Call of Duties with me. And then I've also got a backup in case I'm doing a long gaming session and one needs charge, I can use the other one. So let's get to it. So what we've got here is obviously PS3 controller. As you can see, just a bit of dirt there, a bit around the thumbsticks. Everything else is really nice and clean. There's a bit obviously down these sides. That always gets there. But you can never see what the inside's like. It's always a good idea when you're buying old tech to kind of know your way around it. I mean, if you don't know exactly this, if you know other controllers, you can get the idea. So we've just got, obviously, these to open it up. This one normally fits. However, might need this one. Sometimes the screws are a bit worn and stuff, so it's a good idea to just have two slightly different sizes. Some cotton buds, cotton balls. These I like to use them to scrape out corners. Isopropyl alcohol, safe to use on electronics. Best thing ever to clean electronics. And then some disinfectant wipes. So we're just going to pop these screws open here, lay the screws out nicely so we don't lose them. I'll put them over here. So all we're going to do is just unscrew them like so. There's no hidden ones on the PS3 controller, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I'm going to do this and then I'll get back to you. All screws are removed, so now we just want to take this back casing or the bottom off the top. Now these provide a bit of a logistical issue because they are in the way, but if you just start prying stuff open, get it removed, get both cases removed, the back bit here is always really stiff on these PS3s, and it might feel like there's another screw still in around here. I promise you there's not. As long as you've got these 5. This just proves a bit tricky. As you can see, it is coming away, but just take your time with it. There is no need to rush, and everything will be tickety-boo. There we are, starting to come away. Just keep going round, getting everything further away, and then eventually it'll give. So this is ready to come off now. So we just need to lift this off, but try and avoid these buttons as well. So this comes forward. It's taken that button with it, and that one's taken that button with it. We don't worry about that because these are just clip back very nicely into there. Just need to make sure you set your spring back up properly. The first time I opened one of these, see they've fallen out, and that's fine, you can take them out. The first time I opened one of these, I put those springs back in incorrectly, and it was like always pressed down. So you would just want to avoid that. So we're now inside the controller. This is your battery. Always a good idea to inspect that this isn't swollen or anything. And that'll just go to the side. You can disconnect it if you want, but we don't need to. So you've got a screw here that we'd like to remove. Take care not to jam your screwdriver into any of the nice circuit board. I'll just put that to the side. So now, what's holding your board in and all the rest of the good stuff is these. So if you look, that is held in by that and that. So what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze these and put his finger here and gently work it out. Just gently. There we go, that's lifting. And now the same for the other side. That's my fingers slipping, that clicking noise. Basically, you just want to repeat that on both sides until the board lifts. There we go. The reason I keep cutting is because it's easier for me to see when it's close to me instead of here. But we've all lifted up now. So these front buttons are all on like a ribbon cable which comes over onto this board. So when we lift it, it's going to be in like 2 bits kind of. So if we're just careful, take it out. There you are, that's your cable, that's your ribbon. That's where all your buttons press in. And we're just gonna put that down there. Nice and gentle. So these are your buttons. These are all on pads. So that's what we need to clean. That's what presses into your ribbon. So I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but if you look, there you go, you can see. You can see where they've been worn over time. So we just want to make sure they all press still nice. Yeah, and then if you push up, like here, you better get these out. As you can see, this could do with a good clean. There's your little PlayStation button. That one's finicky to get back in, but still clean it. Look at that. This is why we do what we do. Take everything out. These will only go back in one way, so if for whatever reason you can't remember the button layout, they've all got specific grooves and they'll only go back in one way. There we are, so that's the controller in disarray. So just to start with, we're going to get his anti-back wipes and just give all of this a super duper clean. Make sure you get into all the cracks and crevices, best you can anyways, with the once over. See, that's already better. Just give it all a nice good wipe. And then what we can do after you're satisfied with that is grab one of these or anything. I mean, a pen would probably work as well. I just put these in and I use it like that to clean out all the bits we couldn't reach the first wipe. So sides of here, same again, and then definitely in here. See, I don't know how well you can tell on camera, so if you look there, you can see all the grossness just from years of being used and loved, and now all gone. Just quick ones in there, those don't get used as often. Definitely here. Once you're happy with that, put that to the side. I'm going to put it, and then onto the bottom casing. This one's not got as many tight corners, but this is where your sweat will come from, so just nice and clean. Definitely in here. Give this a quick wipe. There shouldn't be too much in here, hopefully. And then definitely along these edge seams. So once all that's done, what else you can do is just try and clean in here, because like I say, once you're held on here, stuff will work its way up inside these. So same again, just a little poke and a little just twist. And you might not get much. The screws might have pulled some of it out. You can give your screws a wipe if you want. And onto the buttons. So the actual buttons themselves shouldn't pose much of a problem. The backs here shouldn't really get much in them. So just wipe all these down. And I'll show you how I properly reconnect these when we get there as well, because that was my mistake the first time. I mean, it's probably just me being stupid, to be honest. You know, looking back at it, it made sense how it connects. I was just an idiot. So this one, what you can do is you can get your stick again, or you can get it tight like that. And that seems to pick up most of it. Some people would wear gloves for this as well. I'm not bothered, but I'll just give my hands a super big wash afterwards. So if you look, that little dot there should not be that colour. So we're going to have to get his stick back. So I'll overlay this, get a stick, poke it in. There you go. That's what colour it should be. Same with these. This is where most of your stuff will get on the sides, especially your highly used buttons. So square there for most of your attacks, reloading, very, very commonly used button. Triangle, not used as much, want as dirty. And then there you go, B, quite dirty as well. B, circle. That's an old Xbox thing. Because I've been playing all Xbox 360. The games I played on Xbox 360 I've been playing on my PS3. So that's where the confusion come from. So, I mean, you can give these a very small wipe down at the back, but definitely give them a nice wipe at the front. Just be careful not to break, rip, or damage these in any sort of way. Like a little bit of damage they can survive, because as long as when you press a button, that happens. Because that's what inputs. And these are your actual buttons themselves for start and select, or whatever the options and pause, whatever they call it. That'll always be start and select. There you are. These are already looking better. And now for the back, you could put some IPA on. You could. And I have done. But this is dry. We're just going to clean them with a dry one, I think. Because I see no reason to put IPA on these. And we're trying to make these last as long as possible. IPA wouldn't do any damage to them. If you come to play test this now and they're not registering properly, 100% put some IPA on. So you can see little bits of black coming off, which is fine. That should be all good now. So that's all off to the side. They're all nice and clean. Living the dream. Forgot about it because it's on the bottom here. But if you want, these literally just pull up. And we'll give these a wipe too. Them all cleaned onto the electronic side. So we'll just unscrew this. This is the way I do it. Everyone might do it a little bit different. Collect everything in one piece. Get one of these cotton buds. I've got a little hole in the top of my bottle. I'm just going to dab this into the IPA, nice and wet, and just wipe. So make sure there's no gunk on here. There's a big hair on this one, but give this a nice clean. You can see, so that grey, now it's like nearly black. Once it dries, it'll go grey again. This dries extremely quickly. That's how you know you've got it. So any big bits of debris like this, better to just try and remove delicately yourself. I dropped that. I'm not going to reuse it because I've dropped it on the floor. Another one. And we're just going to dab a bit in here. Same in here. Give these a wiggle. Spread it around. That should be all good. These all spring back into the position perfectly. If you can feel them, they're not stiff. Then back here, move this out the way. It's not too heavy, so it's not putting too much stress on those wires. All we're literally doing is we're going to wipe over all these. Everywhere there's an important connection, basically everywhere there's like a bit of solder. So my other controller, as I was doing this, my Q-tip was coming up like really orange, and that can be a sign of like corrosion and stuff. However, if it comes up and this cleans fine, usually you've caught it early and there should be no further damage. So as you can see, oh sorry I was off camera a bit, it's just getting bits of dirt. That's nothing to worry about. I mean, the fact that we're getting it now is good. So just nice and gentle, don't break anything, but make sure everything's clean. And once we're happy, it's hard to reach the way I do it, but we're trying to disconnect as least stuff as possible. I prefer to do it that way. There's just a couple of connections in here. If we just give, with what you can reach, there's not much going on at the top. A lot of chips, but because this is here, that shouldn't get too dirty. So I'll just give that a wipe down myself like that. And once you're satisfied with everything, we can start putting it back together. So our first point of call, thumbsticks back on. And these are slightly shaped, they're not circle, so they just pop in like that, ever so easy. And if you ever need to replace these for whatever reason, this makes it so much easier. So these, if these have come loose in your time, just slide under there. Very easy. Very, very easy. So that's, pop that there for now. We get as top and pop as buttons back. Like I say, these will only go in one way, so you can't bugger it up even if you tried. Unless your buttons were broke, like the little tabs. Unless they were broke, then yeah. There we go. They're in. So then that goes onto there. Put this one in. This one's your fiddly one. Because sometimes it likes to do that. There we go. In. Beautiful. That membrane on top. And then put his D-pad back. And then that over the top. All your black contacts should be pointing towards us. So now we can put this back. Make sure your thumbsticks go in. Make sure everything lines up. And it'll just press and click into place. There we go. If you do everything nice and gentle, take it slow, you can't go wrong. So these have all clicked back. If you press down, they'll go click. And now we've just got these buttons to put back in. So these go into those grooves. These go behind these grooves. Some people will put these in before putting this board in, but I find it easier to do it this way personally. Ah, see, that's not gone in properly. There we are. Now it is. So yeah, so that should just press. And there we go, same with that. That should just press. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put that screw back in. There we go. Make sure your battery's sat nicely. And we'll click these in. So this spring here rests there, if you can see that. So your spring rests like that. And then they click in. So, and then same again on the other one. Now we get his top casing. Guide that over the triggers. And gently work its way back into all the correct grooves, crevices. Just gently. See, if something's not aligned up properly, it's a good idea to take it off. Really have a look. But there we go. It's all lined up. Everything's nice and clean. So we're just going to put these screws back in and we're all done. There we go. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was entertaining, helpful, whatever you've used it for. Peace.